Okay, another challenge question from White Rose Maths. Amy, Bash and Callum collected stamps in the ratio of 5 to 2 to 6. Callum gives away a third of his stamps to Amy and Bash. Bash now has a quarter more stamps than he started with, and Amy now has 448 more stamps than Bash. And the question we are asked is, how many stamps did Callum have at first? Okay, right, let's get going. So we've got Amy, we've got Bash and Callum, and I'm going to be drawing a bar for each of them. Now, let's have a look. So Amy's bar is going to have 5 parts. So, okay, there we go. That's a bar for Amy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bash, well, he's got 2 parts. Okay. There we go. And Callum, 6 parts. Okay. Right, so I think I've represented that accurately there. Okay, so now what do we know? So Callum gives away a third of his stamps to Amy and Bash. Right, well, let's have a look at this. Callum has 6 parts, so a third of his stamps would be 2 of these parts. So he gives away 2 of these. Okay, so that's what he gives away, but we have some more information. Bash now has a quarter more stamps than he started with. Well, what has Bash got so far? Well, he's got these 2 parts here. Well, if we divide these parts into 2, we have 4 parts, and it's then easy to see that a quarter is going to be one of these parts. And now that I have divided these, I'm actually going to divide all of the parts so that they all remain. I've always got equally sized parts if possible. So I'm going to divide up everything. Okay, and let me just shade in. That's the bit, this bit here is the bit that Bash got from Callum. Okay, and actually what we should do, what I'm going to do here is, because I know that we're interested in what stamps Callum had at first. Let's do this. Okay, so this is at first. And this is actually our question mark. That's our question, isn't it? Okay, so where are we now? So Callum, well, now we can see that, what did Callum give away? Callum gave away 4 parts. And he gave 1 part to Bash. That means he must have given 3 parts to Amy. So I'm going to give Amy another 3 parts. And I'm going to shade them in as well, just so that you can see what I've done. So these are the parts. Actually, I should have made it consistent, shouldn't I? So these are the parts from Callum. Okay, so these are Callum's part, a quarter or 1 part to Bash and 3 parts to Amy. Okay, so I've got that done. And now what are we told? Amy now has 448 more stamps than Bash. Well, let's have a look at that then. So this is the difference here. This is the difference between what Bash has and what Amy now has, and we are told that this is 448. Right, well, how many equal parts is represented, or how many equal parts have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we do 448, if we divide that by 8, that will give us the value of each of these parts. And 448 divided by 8, well, that's 56. So we now know that each of these parts, okay, each of these has a value of or represents 56 stamps. Okay, we must be able to work out our answer now then, because we know the value of each of these parts, and we know this is what Callum had at first. At first he had 6 of our original parts, that's 12 of our new parts. So we must need to calculate 56 times 12. Okay, and that gives us 672. So, and that is our answer. This is okay because we've got 12 parts here. This is what Callum had at first. So that's going to be our answer, 672. Okay, I hope that helps.